Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Smash JT. And I just finished watching the Square Enix E3 2018 presentation, and overall it was okay, but there was a lot of things I didn't like in addition to some things that blew me away. Let's talk about it. Smash JT. So since the beginning of time, or at least since the beginning of Final Fantasy VII, a lot of us have been waiting for some sort of confirmation on what's going on with the remake. And I personally, along with a lot of other people, were kind of hoping that Square would present us with some sort of information as to where Final Fantasy VII's remake is at, if it's something that's even close to being done, or what they're even at right now. By not showing it at E3 this year, that tells me this is an extremely long way off, and that's really disappointing. And not only that, the other thing that kind of frustrated me about this event is the cat was kind of out of the bag for a lot of the games they showcased. Most of the games were shown during Microsoft's E3 press conference yesterday, and I feel like they would have been better off if they held a few of those titles back just for their own press conference today. I feel like it would have made a bigger impact as far as what's coming from Square instead of just rehashing everything we just saw yesterday. But outside of those squabbles, this press conference was pretty good overall. My hype level was, I was trying to hold it back because I knew they weren't going to talk about Final Fantasy VII. I would have been surprised if they did. But even with that being said, it was still disappointing that a game they announced how many years ago is still not out yet, and they're even further away from it than we thought. As far as the things that I enjoyed in this presentation, showing the new Tomb Raider game looked absolutely fantastic. The intro and the plane crashing into the mountains, and then showing some actual gameplay in the stealth mode. It's been fascinating to watch the journey of Lara Croft throughout the series of Tomb Raider progress to where it is right now, being one of the best adventure games on the market. And even with these recent Tomb Raider games being as good as they are, I still feel like they're underrated by the gaming community. Hopefully this new one changes that perception. They showed a Monster Hunter crossover with Final Fantasy XIV Online, and I wasn't that hyped about that because first off, I don't play Final Fantasy XIV Online, even though they showed additional DLC coming with that. I was like, meh. But then they showed Monster Hunter coming into it, and I was like, meh. That's something that might be exciting to people who love Final Fantasy XIV Online and also love Monster Hunter. I feel like that's a very niche audience that doesn't really reach as many people as they might think when they first were announcing it. It surprised me, though. It definitely surprised me. Capcom crossing over with Square Enix gets me excited for what may happen in the future. I wish they focused on making a new Breath of Fire or something instead, but hey, we'll take this to start and see where it goes from here. Dragon Quest XI was shown off, and that looked absolutely spectacular. The one thing that kind of detracted from it was using the soundtrack from the Dragon Quest series on top of the actual trailer. Didn't really mesh very well. The song that they used, the Dragon Quest music, is very bubbly and peppy, and the trailer they showed seemed very dark and grimy. It didn't really mesh at all, and I feel like they could have mixed the track to make it match a little bit more, to add more dark sounds to it, to make it fit, but that's kind of a minor squabble in the grand scheme as well, because people who are going to buy Dragon Quest XI already have it pre-ordered. They don't even need to see the trailer for it. And watching a trailer isn't going to sell someone new on it. You're either going to buy it or you're not going to buy it. This trailer didn't really do anything to change that. Other things that I was interested from this was Babylon's Fall, although from Platinum Games have a 50-50 record on how games are coming out of there and if they're good or not. This is something I'm intrigued about, but they only showed a quick trailer, didn't show any gameplay, and I don't really know what I'd be getting myself into. So it's a game I'm going to be following a little bit closer as time progresses. Really hard to get excited about a game like that if it's going to be so far away. I've kind of tempered all my expectations for games coming out in the future after Final Fantasy VII's remake got pushed back as far as it did. Just Cause 4 looked absolutely insane. They're going to do something with the weather system and the vehicles that you can drive and fly and everything you can do in this game to manipulate the sandbox environment. Absolutely spectacular. It looked on par with Grand Theft Auto 5, and that is not a sentence anyone should take lightly. I think Just Cause 4 is going to be a surprise hit. Meaning, yes, we all know it's going to sell a lot, but I'm saying it's going to sell a lot more than what Square Enix is even predicting. The game is going to be spectacular. I'm going to get it day one, and this is coming from someone who's never played any of the other Just Cause games. This is the first one to actually intrigue me. One of my favorite things about this entire press conference was it was a 30-minute pre-made cookie cutter, beginning to end, all meat, no filler, perfectly well put together E3 presentation. And the best part about it was they didn't have anything for their mobile phone games. They didn't talk about Final Fantasy All the Bravest. They had every opportunity in the world to throw that in there, like Bethesda did, like EA did, but they didn't because they respected the audience at E3. They're not going to try to sell you a money-making game on mobile phones when they have these awesome AAA titles to showcase. A couple other minor notes. Kingdom Hearts 3, they showcased the same trailer from the Microsoft presentation yesterday. Again, a game I'm extremely excited about, but it's not coming out until January 2019. And that, I can't understate how gigantic of a disappointment that really is to me, because my kids are gonna love this game, and I was really hoping to have it underneath the Christmas tree on December 25th, but unfortunately, Square couldn't make that date. It's gonna be pushed to January 2019. And hopefully that means it's going to be completely finished with no bugs and everything's going to be worked out, no kinks at all. But it's still a little bit frustrating that they couldn't squeeze this game out for the beginning of December. And finally, they showcased The Quiet Man, and this game took me by surprise more than anything in the entire presentation. Because while I was watching it, I was trying to decipher what was real life and what was graphics. And still, to this moment, while watching the trailer behind me, I don't know if that's a video of people acting or if that's actual gameplay in a video. And while I thought it was people acting, when they switched to the gameplay movements, it looked like the same thing just from further away. I mean, yes, you could tell it was definitely graphics, but that's gameplay. It's going to devalue and downgrade what the graphical style is during gameplay. But as far as the actual cutscene footage, that was some of the best cut screen graphics I've ever seen, if it was actually graphics, but that's still to be determined. Anyways, as far as my overall grade for the Square Enix presentation at E3 2018, I'm giving them a solid C+. It didn't completely blow me away, but it didn't fail me like EA did. This had a lot of really good stuff in it, but they've brought everyone's expectations so high and then just left them off a cliff when it came to Final Fantasy VII that was extremely disappointing for me. The benefits of having a pre-made show was there were no cringe moments, it didn't waste anyone's time, and for that I was extremely thankful, and EA could take a page out of this book going forward. Anyways, that's how I felt about the presentation, but I want to hear what you guys think about it. Let's talk about this down below in the comments section. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a good one.